Hello, and welcome to Unique Oddities, where we look at games with unique ideas that fell through the cracks at the time of their release. Many of these games had truly interesting concepts, but didn't receive much attention, and they deserve to be talked about. As this is the first episode, I'll explain the format. The series will consist of mini reviews, and at the end, the games will be rated for their uniqueness and fun, with each category being on a 1 to 5 star system. Alright, with that out of the way, let's dive right in. The Unholy War was released for the PlayStation in fall of 1998. It's a strategic fighting game developed by Toys for Bob and published by Crystal Dynamics. One thing you may notice is that Crystal Dynamics' mascot, Gex, is in the upper right hand corner. This was done as an attempt to push more copies. As we all know the saying, Gex sells. I don't think I should keep... Battles in the Unholy War are turn-based and involve moving different units around a tile-based battle system. Power points that replenish each turn, called R, E-R, A-U-R, I don't know how to say, can be used to buy more units at a base, or for unique abilities that each unit has, such as healing an adjacent unit or teleporting. Honestly, at this point, the game isn't that different from tactical RPGs such as Shining Force or Fire Emblem. The similarities end, however, when you attack with your first unit. Unlike Shining Force or Fire Emblem, which more or less show a cutscene of two units trading stats, in the Unholy War, attacking another unit transforms the game into a platform fighter, where quick reaction is key. Each character has 3 different attacks during combat, and they each use different amounts of mana that replenish throughout the fight. It's a really fun system that makes you go from slow strategic play to fast-paced action. Of course, the game wouldn't work without having interesting characters, and they did a pretty good job of designing units that felt unique and memorable. Toys for Bob actually later went on to make the Skylanders series of games. Say what you will about Skylanders, but most of those designs were really well thought out, and the knack for creating distinct characters can be seen even here in their early years. Although going through the almost 20 types of units would be beyond the scope of this review, here are some of my favorites. Mantis, who is appropriately enough a giant red armored mantis. He throws bug drones, stabs with an extendable claw, and by far has the coolest design. I mean, look at him, he's all sleek and everything. And red. Jaeger, a huge robot with high HP and tons of firepower in his heat-seeking missiles, but he lacks in the mobility department. Prana, a weird lizard demon thing that spawns mini Prana and has the most annoying attack in the game with his grab. Seriously, maybe I'm missing something, but you have to mash buttons for a solid 10 seconds to get him to let go. It's crazy. Brontu, by far the most normal looking character, being a 6-legged rhino, and he charges into people. That's about it, actually. That's cool, but not that interesting. Magus Lizard, probably the most rounded unit in the game, with his wide range of attacks and average stats that allow him to be usable in almost all situations. He can also summon meteors with his Starfall attack, which if you find time to use, is probably the best attack the game has to offer. And my favorite, Kill Cycle. He totally lives up to his cool name with his laser, bombs, and by far the most fun attack, Kamikaze, which sacrifices Kill Cycle to do the most damaging attack in the game. It may not be the smartest thing to do all the time, but taking an opponent with you who's winning is priceless. An interesting feature of the Unholy War is that there isn't an inherent disadvantage to being the one attacked versus attacking a unit, but a good player provides the disadvantage by picking the right unit. For example, Jaeger has a pretty easy time with Prana or other ground-based units because of his range, but if you were to put him against the Fire Witch, a flying unit, the Fire Witch could just fly over and bomb the shit out of him, and you're not going to be able to do anything about it, so just sit there and watch him die. But then Kill Cycle comes along and flies above the Fire Witch and starts bombing the shit out of her. And while at the same time looking super cool, you can start to see why he's my favorite character. Overall, the game is a great little idea that isn't wide in scope. It only has one other game mode, and that's just you fighting with all the units one after another. But that's kinda like eating a pie without the pie crust, cause, you know, nothing's holding it together then. That was bad, I'm not keeping that one in. 4 out of 5 uniqueness, 3 out of 5 fun.